So hi and welcome to Dice Voyeurs. We are back again. Today we are in Kansas City. And I am with Ed from Pint.
Glad to be here.
Of course I am here with Roxy and her father Greg is joining us today as well.
Hello.
I gotta say that, to start off with, this is our first time where we are appearing outside of Texas. Not only that, it's our first time to sit down and interview with someone who is, in my opinion, in the industry of basically providing games and being out there to the community. So I think it's great that this is our first time to do that, and we're doing it with Pint.
Awesome.
We are, of course, here.
We're visiting family.
Having a seat, sitting around. And we actually came up the other night, tried a few of the coffee and espresso drink, hopped and got, I think it was the Candyland and the Battleship. We both wanted something sweet when we came in.
And how were they?
I really enjoyed them. I'm a frozen coffee guy most of the time. I discovered it years ago. I used to think frozen coffee was nasty. I was just like, hot coffee is where it's at. And then I started drinking it. I'm like, okay, this is really good.
Maybe this summer we might have to start doing some frozen coffee too.
But so the iced coffee and everything else now, it's kind of my preference. But on a day like today where it's 17 degrees outside, I wanted some hot coffee.
Yeah, he's not used to this stuff. No. But yeah, no, we really enjoyed him. I had he didn't tell me the cute names. I only knew that one was strawberry and vanilla and one was white chocolate and raspberry, and I sipped on both of them. So we just kind of passed them back and forth.
And you tried one of the local beers.
Yes, I don't know which local beer.
Yeah, John was the one who brought them all to the table. So he's.
Yep, I was just like, here. Pass it around. Yeah, so.
Sure. Was it perhaps one of? We've got a lot of the craft selection from Boulevard.
It was probably a Boulevard, I would say. It was a lighter. We sent him.
Light color.
It was a light color.
Was it in a tulip glass?
Yes.
I think a Tank 7 maybe.
That could be. He would know.
I really wouldn't know.
It's like the narrator. You were the narrator in that moment. He would know. He didn't know.
Yeah. We'd have to check our tab.
He basically, I just said, what would you like? And you had said that you
Lagers
and Bocks. And so I walked up there and I said, lager or Bock? And they're just like, well, we don't have, those, but we have this, and we think that you would really like it. And I was like, I'm always want to try something new. I hope you were too.
Yeah, it was great. It felt like it had a little citrus to it, So.
Okay. I'm like playing through my head which beer it could be. It's sort of like my favorite game to play is when people come in and say, hey, I'm thinking of this game, and it has this, this, and this, is to try and figure it out. So I'm kind of doing the same thing with the beer right now.
But no, we are huge fans, obviously, of this location, of coming out for Pint. And you got your start on Kickstarter.
We did indeed.
When I first interviewed you, back when we were still doing the Nomadic Nerd blog, and that was kind of, it's kind of one of those things where it was my first time to really dip my foot in, and I started doing interviews with people, and so you were one of my first.
Okay.
So I'm very, very thankful for that.
I mean, you got to throw yourself to the wolves right away. I mean, I'm pretty much the worst.
Well, we've really been looking forward to coming back because, like, we've been following your guys' progress, because it's been a couple years since we've been back, and I saw my cousin had been here. I mean, I started seeing it pop up, and Dad sent me a link. He was like, "Did you know we have a board game tavern?" And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Yeah." We actually went there and talked to the guy when they first opened. It was brand new. There was almost nobody here at the time, and so once we saw that all the stuff you guys had started doing, we're like, "Wow, it looks like it's really, really generating some buzz in Kansas City." And you would think Houston's a pretty big, melting pot of a city with a lot of nerd community type places. We don't have anything that I know of.
No, we're
like this.
We are still very much in downtown Houston, stuck in the old way of doing gaming stores, where you come in, you buy your game. There's no play space. There's no demo space. You buy it. You don't talk to anybody. You go. Now there are places outside that are now starting to pop up and kind of challenge that old concept. And I'm really liking that. I mean, we've got several in the area. I mean, Space Cadets comes to mind.
Yeah, we have places with
Dragon Slayer
with tables,
but they don't do anything like this.
Yeah, they don't have the bar and the stuff. So it's
I enjoy it for community.
Yeah, if we had some stuff going on this week, or else we'd probably been here every day because we had a great time in here the other night. Even with the D&D game that was going on behind us, we still were able to hear each other. People were very respectful. People were having a good time, and you could hear them getting loud and stuff, but it wasn't like some places where they're over. It seemed like they understood that, hey, we're right next to another table of people playing games, and they need to hear what they're doing. So it was a really nice, great atmosphere, great feel. Everybody seemed really cool. We had very helpful staff coming by checking on us, and so.
Well, you guys actually sat in one of my favorite places in our entire building.
Oh,
This
really?
is the Sam Adams Nook. And what's so cool, and also this place has simultaneously, this exact Nook has probably resulted in both the majority of our positive, well, I think our service, the majority of our positive reviews and negative reviews from people like, oh, I didn't get service because it's a little bit out of the way. It's just, and you wouldn't think it, but it's probably the quietest space in the entire store.
Yeah.
And it's got our Dungeons and Dragons library right here. And of course, it's dedicated to Sam Adams, who was a gamer in the Kansas City area. I don't know how familiar you are with the
I'm
RPG
not.
KC group.
We were like,
No,
thought
yeah.
it was, we thought it was the beer.
Well, he was.
Patriot.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, I wouldn't say no if they came over with a bunch of beer money. I mean, Sam Adams is pretty delicious, but actually he was this gamer who was really big in like the LARP scene and the role playing scene for a while. And when we were getting her Kickstarter started up, a bunch of his friends gathered up and they actually purchased the rights to name this Nook. And they raised a substantial
Fantastic.
amount of money over to kind of make it happen. And it's really cool because a lot of them are regulars now. And a
Awesome.
lot of them come in and they play games. And, they'll literally be sitting here drinking beers, talking about the crazy, pardon my French, shit that Sam apparently did.
That's right. That's awesome.
We even have a drink on the menu, actually, the Madagascar, which you should try, that is in honor of Sam. It's
Okay.
because he used to apparently always start stories with, so there I was, off the coast of Madagascar.
That's awesome.
That's great.
That's awesome.
I love that. But, mentioning Kickstarter and getting started out that way, I remember from our first interview, you said that you did a lot of research, getting ready to start up a gaming pub and whatnot. So I've got some trivia I wanted to toss your way. Let's see if
hit me with
you
it.
have it. So, do you know the name of the location that says that they were the first gaming cafe or pub?
Snakes and lattes.
That is correct. Absolutely. Yeah. Good job. There you go.
Yep.
Big money, no whammies. He was
That's
on
it.
the buzzer for that one.
Yeah. The
Little bit of a hero worship of the guy who started Snakes and Lattes.
Yeah.
If you ever get a chance, they've got a wonderful YouTube channel. They are on
Really?
top of it, man. They're super cool. I've been planning to go up to Canada and visit them at some point.
Yeah.
Like, I've talked to them on the phone a couple times about stuff. They're just some cool people, and they
Awesome.
totally same idea, same vibe. I think we're a little different. We're more of the first kind of board game pub in this
Yeah.
area. They're a cafe, which is very
Oh, okay.
nice, but we're, you can kind of tell, we're clink your beers together at Pond
That's
and
right,
Pint,
that's right.
Not that we don't have lattes and
Yeah.
all that. Yeah.
And it's kind of interesting you're talking about starting up a second location, maybe, because they just did not that long ago.
They're actually on their franchising now.
Oh, they're
They have
franchised.
3
Oh, wow.
locations in Ontario, or no, Toronto. They have 3 locations, and they're actually talking. They just begun their 4th wave that they're talking, or their different waves. They're talking about 2nd, 3rd, and 4th waves to open new locations up north.
Wow.
So
Awesome.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
good for them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Well,
Good.
on a side note, one last piece of trivia.
Yeah.
And this is, less a question, but more just a thing that is a fun fact. And that is, I love history, and I love when history includes gaming. And I found out that the first time that a legal code or any kind of regulation was passed having to do with pubs was in response to gaming at pubs. It had nothing to do with alcohol.
That's right.
It had nothing to do with any sort of impropriety. It was all about people who were gaming, and it was Henry VII in 1495 said that the indoor games were distracting the Tudor pubmen from archery. And so he put regulations on pub games.
Gosh dang it, you got to stop them.
Yeah. But so
Cards Against Humanity going on in 14th century
That's right.
New England. I can tell.
I can actually believe that.
Shall we be shooting today, Henry? No, because I've got the tears of an orphan here.
That's right.
No.
That's right.
But all right. One of the other things that your store does is that you actually do have items for sale. And so coming in this last week, I did notice a few that you have here that are actually homemade or actually made by a local craftsman is the best way I'd put it.
Right.
Which seems to be the thing now. I mean, even Etsy, buying stuff from local people is getting to be, I think, as big as some of the companies out there like Dogmite and a few of the others.
So yeah, absolutely. We do a little bit of consignment. We like to do consignment in a couple different ways at Pawn and Pint. Really, our consignment showcases local artists and artisans. Kansas City has a vibrant, what I would kind of call a geek art scene. If you look on our walls, you'll see a lot of different art that's actually for sale, and that's it's all kind of, a lot of it's, nerdy themed Dungeons and Dragons type stuff, and that's done, for example, by Chad Risner, excuse me, who's got that for sale. And some of my favorite stuff that we actually have on our retail section is sold by John Lund, who is a local craftsman, and what he does is he makes artisan wood boxes. So obviously the podcasters, I'm sure they can look at pictures to see this.
Yeah, we have a blog.
But these are very, they look very simple in some ways, but they have this ornate sort of feel to them. They're artisan crafted. If you look on our wall, you'll see we have a secret Hitler box that he made custom for us.
Wow, okay.
We have a giant Cards Against Humanity box, which he made custom for us as well. And he just did that and donated those to us. And then we've also got chainmail dice bags that he makes, and we have that's, as we're looking at right now, these dice boxes. And actually, one of these that we're holding currently is really cool. It's a box designed specifically for one set of dice to be laid out. So, any gamer knows that sometimes you got your good dice and sometimes you got dice that kind of need to be thrown into the dice shaming pool.
Yeah.
What's really cool about this one is it's got this this magnetic clamp to it that just connects it and can just hold, so you don't have to worry about the box opening or anything while it's in there. And when you're at the gaming table, you can roll it open and kind of pull the specific dice out as you go. Another cool tidbit about John actually is he is not just a craftsman of wood and chainmail, but he's also does some leather working. And he's currently making me bracers and greaves for medieval costume that I'm working on. So he's actually putting, and he's really a master craftsman. He's in addition to making effective usable armor, he's stitching onto it in ancient Gaelic different incantations on it. So it's gonna be pretty sick. So I'll send that to you guys.
No, absolutely. Yeah,
sure.
We're both we both go to Texas. Actually has, I think it's like the third biggest Renaissance festival in America.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool.
And yeah, we dress up. I got her dress up last year. This year it was unrealistically hot out there, and we were just like, no, not this year.
Even it was like
Goodness,
November. It was third, or it was, I think,
November,
right.
it was still in the
it was
upper
Thanksgiving
90s.
weekend.
Yeah.
And it was still. I was like, no. Did I dress up anyway? I think I did wear
We wore the shirt.
a shirt and a hat.
We wore a boat shirt and a hat. So that way we don't stick out too much, right?
Yeah.
So what is this? Now, is this a deck box or is this also a dice box?
I believe it's a dice box as well.
Okay.
I think, you obviously could use it for any variety of
Anything.
things. And you kind of see it, they're sets, they set in very nicely and fit.
Yeah.
I like how he
very
does his
smoothly.
joint work.
Yeah, the brads that have kind of an old nail kind of look to it, that's really good. And it's one of those things where I'm looking at the wood, and it looks like it's stained to some extent, possibly like a water stain or an oil stain, but it's not been completely sealed, and so it has a really good kind of rugged look to it. It looks like it'll, it looks like it's going to age as you have it, and I think there's a lot of love for that kind of item. And the dice box, this single set dice box, a lot of companies are trying to get in on this, and I gotta say, this looks as good as some of the ones I've seen. I mean, this is, I don't know, it's not Dogmite, but there's another company out there that's been doing this, where it looks like, the small wormwood with the small single tray, and this looks really, really nice.
That looks really nice, and it's definitely way more affordable than some. That's one of the problems with some of the artisan craftsmen on the national level, is that, and yes, I understand the stuff they're using is expensive to import or to get, but it's just not affordable for the casual gamer and sometimes not even for a regular gamer because they're probably
Yeah.
spending money on books. They're not going to want to
Yeah.
spend $300 on a dice box.
And who was it that went down this last year? I mean, they were
Geek Chic went down.
tables
went down, but
they were kind of overcharging, definitely. And
the casual average gamer that wants to get some nice crafted geek gear or gaming gear, these are beautiful. And
yeah, absolutely.
And I think you'll find too is that if you're so inclined to, John is more than happy to add, custom. You could write your name on it for another fee, or put something on
Get
top.
like a
He's got
logo or something
that
on it.
stuff on top of it if you're so inclined. I mean, he
Okay.
really is, and it is. You can really feel the kind of the labor of love when you kind of fiddle with these things. They're absolutely not mass produced. Like this, he
Right.
literally makes them while he's watching, TV, or while he's, listening to music.
Yeah.
You know.
Now, does he have a website?
I do not actually think he does.
Okay.
Yeah, he had some business cards. I've been talking to him
Trying
about how he might do something like that. But
Yeah.
but really, I mean, I tell you, if he actually might be in here today. You guys would love to meet him. He's this
Absolutely.
wonderfully eccentric man. He has this mustache that curls up, like he does all this sort of steampunk
Cool.
stuff. He almost reminds me of like in Dungeons and Dragons, like a gnome, with the tinkerer. He's like
he's like
the quintessential tinkerer, and I mean that very complimentarily,
Yeah,
of course.
Oh yeah,
You
for
know.
sure.
Right.
But no, these look great.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, it definitely has a great wow factor right off the bat, and I really do feel like the smaller dice carrier, that you pull this out at a table, people are going to think that you've dropped some serious money on it just because
Oh,
of
yeah.
how the market is for those. So
And the stain on it is lovely, and it gives it a more exotic look too. But anyway, before we wrap up, what are your plans? For the future of Pot and Pine? Are you just kind of riding it for a little bit? Because, like I said, it does seem like we were very pleased to see the amount of people that were in here the other night. It was a packed house. Now, it was your RPG night, was my understanding.
What night was it?
Saturday night?
Southpaw night.
We've been really blessed, I think.
Okay.
Actually, not. I think I know just with the response that people have come to this idea. I mean, we are filling up Friday night, Saturday night.
That's awesome.
Increasingly, I have to tell people we don't actually take reservations on those days because we're just so full that we can't possibly do it.
Yeah.
I mean, we're pretty much full. I mean, we've been open for about 4 months now, and pretty much every Saturday and Friday we have been completely packed. We usually have to pull out extra tables and chairs.
Wow.
And I mean, we're usually at about half capacity on any given weeknight
Okay, fantastic.
as well.
And you have an upstairs?
We do. We have a mezzanine area. Yeah,
Okay.
there's a mezzanine area which we offer for rentals for like events. Now we can only rent it out on not Friday or Saturday because
Right.
it's so
It just
busy
fills
that
up.
we're definitely looking toward expansion. We've got a few ideas in the fire on how we can grow. But needless to say, I think that I mean we're very happy with this Pond and Pint as of now, and I think that there's a lot of renovations and repairs, not repairs, but growth that I see that we can do
Okay,
in
cool.
this space. And then maybe sometime in 2019 we'll be looking at some more expansion in some ways.
Fantastic.
If we have so many people who want to come play board games here that we can literally not fit them, well, I think
Right.
that you can do the math on what a positive move
For
might
sure.
be at that point.
For sure. Now, when you moved from your other location, was it due to just you were running out of room?
It was a large part of it.
Okay.
But also unfortunately the crossroads were not very well fit for what we wanted to do.
Okay.
We found that people really wanted to have a place that they can park, and that we wanted to do a tavern, and we wanted
Yeah.
to make sure that we could start selling that alcohol
Yeah.
and get that part of the operation running.
For sure. For
Yeah.
sure. Okay. Very cool. No, we love it. John and I are like, man, because again, we only get to come up maybe twice a year, and so.
Well, we love having you. I really do appreciate you guys coming down.
So I may be around taking pictures, just
Please.
for the blog
Yeah.
and just our website and stuff. So.
And 100%, we could not do this or have this place exist without people like yourselves who come and patronize. I mean, that if there wasn't like this interest, and I think this wonderful, the spirit, the zeitgeist of this time of people. I think a lot of people in both our generation and the general that are just interested in connecting and
Yeah.
playing board games and building a community and having what the social term of a third space, somewhere we can
Right.
go to be that isn't home and it isn't work, but we're welcome, and
Right.
that is our our vision for Pond and Pint. Is that this is a place that you can come and you can feel welcome, and we couldn't do it without you guys.
Well, thank you. And
I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, you've set, honestly, I feel like you have set a high bar because we used to go to game stores all the time. It's still one of those things that I plan on incorporating more. But I really feel like you've set a high bar because it is absolutely amazing in here.
Yeah, for a playable space and the comfortable atmosphere. And there were several times where I think they probably, if you've gotten complaints that this is the hidden nook,
they don't see you.
Yeah, they were making a point to kind of come around and peek in, and then if anybody was
about that,
if anybody was coming around to look at the books, then they'd be like, "Oh, you're here.
Yeah,
someone's in here. Would you like something?" So it was very nice. But what inspired you initially to go out on Kickstarter and do this? Was this just something that you'd always dreamed to do, or was you and your friends are sitting around going, "Man, I want a place where we can have people around and have some beers out and not have to worry about location or
Sure. So, it's kind of an interesting partnership that ended up creating this place. Me and John Steele, who's my business partner, we kind of came from different backgrounds and ideas. He's a very successful IT guy, and I was a middle school teacher. And I'd recently moved to Kansas City, and I'd been teaching. And one of the things that I'd found, the first things, and it's almost kind of embarrassing to admit, but when I first got here, in general, in this city, it was a big city, and I meet people, and I think they were really cool, but I was pretty lonely. I didn't have a place to go. Yeah. And I kind of just thought to myself, in general, and then I started playing board games with my friends, and they started inviting me over, and we started playing, and I was instantaneously, it was amazing. I was like, and I've been playing board games my whole life. I played in college. Obviously I'm obsessed. I have my own collection. But to connect with people, and I saw, and it was this epiphany that board games are this great way to connect. And I didn't, and it just occurred to me that, what? I'm not the only person in this city that likes to sit down and play board games.
Yeah.
People like doing this. And we did some market research, and we realized, what? We can make this happen. Yeah. This is a thing that we can do, and we can get people to come on in, and we can create a place where people can play board games and feel welcome, no matter who you are. And I think if you ever, when you come here, on weekdays especially, you get to see some of the wonderful way that board games are separate. It's not just, they're not just something that people might, come in general and just like, oh yeah, yes, you can come with your own friends, but you'll see people of all walks of life coming. There's the people who just pay the $5 at the door, and they're happy to get there. And then there's you'll have days where you have, it was so sorry. Let me share this specific sort of image to you, because this is one of the times that I really recognized and felt like I was doing what I want to do with this place. There was a gentleman who was running a Star Trek game. He was running it for a group of people. And I know, because this is a separate thing about this gentleman is that he's a Catholic priest. And one of the people in his group was a transgender person. And there was another person who was in that group. And it was just awesome is this that there's like this just there was no discussion, there was no need for anything, there was no about that. They were just playing a game, and they were humans together enjoying that, and that was wonderful.
That's awesome.
That's what I love about it is there's so many people that nobody, the amount of political discussions that happen here are probably pretty much zero. It's just people playing together, and we need play. We really do as humans.
Oh yeah. No, I mean, one of the things I found online as far as trivia goes and just overall discussion online was that the majority of people who go to board game pubs and taverns and such a lot of times aren't the kind of people that collect board games. I mean, it is a much wider audience than just those people in a town. People walk in. I mean, the other night I was sitting here and I overheard a discussion. They're like, "Oh, okay, so what kind of board games do you like?" And somebody literally said, "Oh, well, I kind of like Monopoly, but he's always played Scrabble." And you had somebody
Two
who was
phenomenal games.
Yeah, somebody was like, "Oh, well, let me show you a couple games over here that kind of fit in that mold that you might like to try."
Yeah, our game guru is probably Sam. You're right, and he's phenomenal about that. And that's sort of one of the great joys of this is bringing other people into sharing parts of the hobby and seeing what they recognize and recognizing, and that's why I really recruit, specifically people to be game gurus who have this skill set that they're not just able to educate, that they're able to, they're great if they can teach Scythe, a very heavy strategy game. Someone must be having a personal crisis over here with this phone. I'm sorry. They've called 3 times.
It's
I
fine,
really
No, go ahead.
hate to.
That's all right. No worries.
I am so terrifically
Oh,
sorry
no,
about
don't
that.
worry.
No, not at all, not at all.
That's kind of the story of the entrepreneurship life. It's,
Yeah.
I was like, and they called 3 times in a row, so I'm like, someone must be dying. I mean,
No worries. We were, we were talking about
Just what inspired the vision and just the community building, things like that, which is something that we definitely have wanted to see, because I do feel the gaming community gets a bad rap sometimes about, the guys that are trying to shut out girls, or they're trying to, kind of, you hear those, you see the memes.
worst story ever. You
Yeah,
know, like
exactly,
the
that
comic
kind
book
of
guy
stuff.
from Simpsons.
Right,
Yeah.
So it's great to hear that people are coming together and they're setting aside a lot of differences and just saying, we just want to play games. And you were also talking about your game gurus as well. And like when we came in here the first time, you guys had tons of games, but I don't remember. Is that
I
you?
feel like you definitely have expanded since then.
Oh,
Yeah,
way.
we've got over 1,000 now.
Wow.
Yeah, we are just
Now,
brimming.
are people just donating them, or
We've acquired them. We rent some of them. Hot games come out, and I can't resist them, and I buy them myself. And
Yeah, for sure.
same thing for John. It's just like we need that, and we just get it. We want you guys to have the best experience when you come in.
Oh yeah,
so.
it was great. Well, that was when we were up here the other night. We didn't bring any of our own games, but I saw many of my favorite ones over there. But it's been great to sit and chat with you and look at this stuff.
And,
Feel free to, and I'm sure there are loads of patrons and other staff members if you want to interview.
Yeah.
We're about it, and obviously hang out, play games. I'll turn some music on here in a second.
Okay, no worries.
Stuff. So yeah.
Awesome.
Absolutely. Well, it was wonderful to see you again, and hope to, when we come back
thank you,
through, we'll
John.
probably try and interview you again, see where else.
Heck yeah, see what
good
the
to
thing is. In our 17 Pond and Pint locations, our empire
That would-
spans the globe.
There
That
you
would be
go.
awesome.
Hey.
Yeah, wherever we
That's it.
go.
Bringing the truth, justice, and board
See, I don't even
games.
think
to-
there's one in. I don't think there's one in Indianapolis either. We're headed to Indianapolis.
What you're
this
saying
weekend.
is Austin and Indianapolis is where you want a new Pond
Yeah,
and Pint.
we need
Yeah.
some in Texas. We need them all over the Midwest. So
Let's do it right
that's
now.
right, we'll just do a tour.
Yeah.
So, well, thank you very much for
problem,
sitting and
guys.
talking with us.
Absolutely.
It's my
And
pleasure.
as always, you know the tagline, show me your dice, and I'll show you mine.
We'll talk
Thanks,
to you later.
guys.
Ooh.
You've been listening to Dice Voyeurs. Please subscribe to get our episodes as soon as they release. For more information about us, check out passionerdly.com, at passionerdly on Twitter and Instagram, as well as facebook.com/passionerdly. Also, if you're interested in supporting our show, look us up at patreon.com/passionerdly. Once again, thank you for listening.
This has been a production of the Southgate Media Group. For more podcasts like this one, head over to southgatemediagroup.com.